right, good evening, everybody. Happy Saturday night. It was an eventful last half of this Saturday. We had a couple of thunderstorms move through the area and several flood warnings across the area from eastern San Antonio all the way up into the hill country. We're going to go into that in detail. We still have a flood warning that's in effect for far eastern San Antonio until 10:30 tonight. That may expire early, if not already. A lot of the rain is coming to an end in our local area, but farther south, like towards George West, Beeville, to the Corpus Christi area down south towards like McMullen County and Alice, Jim Wells County, that's where the rain, the thunder, and lightning is heading towards right now. But notice you can see a really interesting shot over San Antonio right now. Look at this. This is gorgeous. This is what the clouds do after thunderstorms. They bring in all these different layers of clouds, and sometimes in the mid to high levels of the atmosphere, you can bring in really cool colors like in that pink, red range, orange spectrum. Looks pretty cool. I mean, we have a beautiful sunset out there this evening and mostly dry. There are a couple of leftover sprinkles and light showers out there, but all the rain is now coming to an end in our local area. The heaviest rain right now, as of 8:50 tonight, is moving farther south towards George West, down south, down I-37 towards like Beeville and towards Alice and Jim Wells County. And we'll show you radar in a second. But let's look at a live look around town. Here's a closer look at the airport. This looks beautiful. It's gorgeous. As we're approaching twilight, just right after sunset, 79 degrees, feels great outside, a little breezy in the wake of those thunderstorms, looking great. Humidity is up because of those storms as well. Here's today's high temperatures. It was incredible. We hit these numbers around like 3 o'clock today. It was sunny, it was clear, but the rain came rolling in, and we went from like 101 to about 87 within an hour. I mean, a huge temperature drop. That's about 15 degrees cooler in about 15 minutes or less, right? I mean, just a huge drop in temperatures because of the rain cooled air, the cloud cover, helping cool us down. And we had breezy, windy conditions at times. I was outside for a little bit, and the winds were gusting near like 20 to 30 miles an hour, before these storms came rolling in. From Grace, any storms continue to overnight for San Antonio? Not for San Antonio. There is a remaining flood warning out east toward like St. Hedwig, which we'll show you in a second. But for San Antonio in our local area, the hill country, we're pretty much done with the rain for right now. The heaviest rain is now moving into George West and Beeville. We'll show you that in a second. But yeah, bottom line for San Antonio, mostly quiet right now. A few areas of patchy light rain, but most of the storms are coming to an end. And again, we'll show you that in a second. But yeah, today's number is really hot, 101 to 103 in the area. Now a lot cooler, not so much in Pearsall, 90 degrees. Compare that to 79 in San Antonio. Even cooler in Bernie and Kerrville at 70 to 71. Feels awesome out there. Now here's radar. First and foremost, this was issued probably about 45 minutes ago or so. There was some pretty heavy rain moving through St. Hedwig, I-10, I-35, eastern San Antonio earlier today. Now, a lot of the rain is coming to an end. Is there still some light rain out there? Yeah, but most of the organized activity is really just waning down. It's weakening, so we're not expecting any additional thunderstorms in our local area tonight, but this is technically in effect until 10:30 tonight. So in this particular region, additional rain is possible. Just from what I'm seeing right now, it just doesn't look probable. A lot of the action is away from us, and a lot of the rain that was in our local area, San Antonio, Guadalupe County, Hayes County, towards Kerr County, it's really just coming to an end. Our atmosphere is stabilizing, but of course, any flood warning we're going to take seriously. So this is technically in effect until 10:30 tonight, but I would not be surprised if this is allowed to expire a little early. A lot of the warnings that were out there in Kerr County today, were forecast to be for a couple hours, but they expired a little earlier than expected. And I think the same thing will happen with this particular warning in eastern Bexar County and Guadalupe County. This particular region saw a lot of rainfall earlier today, and some of that led to some street flooding, high water areas. But again, just to put your mind at ease, if you're in this region, that highlighted green box, there is a flood warning, but a lot of this is coming to an end. And aside from some light rain moving through, any organized activity is to the south. Matter of fact, take a look how different the radar picture is, right? So anywhere from like southern Atascosa County towards B County, Live Oak County, McMullen County, Duval County, Jim Wells County up near Alice and north in like Hebronville. That's where a huge amount of lightning is moving through. I mean, take a look at this. This is all driven by the heating of the day, moving farther south. This should weaken, but I mean, this is where the heaviest amount of rain is, moving away from San Antonio. But if you have any friends or family in Campbellton, Three Rivers, Beeville, George West, that's where a lot of lightning and heavy rain is moving through at this hour. Some additional development out near Kennedy County. And again, a lot of the action is coming to an end in San Antonio, but we're going to watch that flood warning very, very closely. From Kimberly is a beautiful sunset in Troy, Texas. Yeah, we saw a beautiful sunset about 5 minutes ago over the airport, the San Antonio International Airport, and it was just gorgeous. I mean, those high to mid-level clouds moving away from us, how the sun sets at an angle, it scatters the light. It just creates beautiful colors and a vibrant sunset, and we saw that too as well, Kimberly. It was just beautiful sunset tonight in the wake of these storms. From Grace, I hope the cluster storms might move in from the north, or is that tomorrow night? That'll be tomorrow night, Grace. And if that does happen tomorrow night into early Monday, mainly while we're asleep, a lot of the model guidance has any rain that forms late tomorrow night, probably like after midnight. And we'll show you that in a second as well, Grace. Getting ahead of yourself, right? Here are some of the rain estimates in San Antonio. The bullseye locations were between Marbach, 151, towards Leon Valley, for example, out towards Helotes. You can kind of see where these locations are at. Wherever you see like the brighter green colors and the yellow colors, obviously that's, higher rainfall totals from earlier today. And not everyone saw those high rain totals. I mean, Somerset, southwest San Antonio, southeast Bexar County, downtown region didn't see too much rainfall earlier today. From Jacob, wishing a happy birthday to Emma. 84th birthday, Emma. Happy birthday to you from the south side of San Antonio. Absolutely. Big happy birthday. 84th trip around the sun for Emma. It's beautiful. From Kyler, how about New Braunfels? Right now it's quiet in New Braunfels and not expecting much activity tonight, Kyler. There may be a couple of leftover sprinkles over the next couple of hours, maybe a passing light shower, but most of our action is coming to an end. And New Braunfels earlier today, there was a passing downpour move through. I think we saw some video from New Braunfels on social media. Pretty heavy downpour over there. But the heaviest of rain, this is kind of what it looked like earlier today over the last 12 to 24 hours. Helotes to Leon Valley towards Marbach and near Petrenko Road. Some pretty heavy pockets of rain. And then similar on the far east side between St. Hedwig and Seguin, radar estimating between like 2 to 3 inches in some areas along I-10. So incredible. From Grace, you missed the sunset. Yeah, I mean, let me see if I can bring it back up. I mean, we might be past that time. Let's see. So the airport was an awesome sunset. We might see, yeah, that's what's left of it. So the sun already setting, but yeah, you can see some that color right there. It's really, really nice, really nice. All right, so that's radar totals. We're not expecting any more rain in the area tonight. If any rain does develop, it's going to be south towards like George West, Beeville, towards Corpus Christi. But as we lose the heating of the day, we lose the strength in the atmosphere. Tomorrow morning, fast forwarding to about 7 a.m., there it is right there. A mostly clear sky, a couple of clouds around. Temperature right around 76 to 77 tomorrow morning in the city. A few degrees cooler in Bernie, Kerrville, and Fredericksburg at 72 tomorrow morning. We fast forward through the late afternoon. It's going to be a mostly sunny, partly cloudy day. A high temperature right around 100 degrees. I think San Antonio hits 100 tomorrow afternoon. And then Grace was talking about this earlier. She asked about this about 5 minutes ago. If we see any rain tomorrow, it'll be late tomorrow night into early Monday, where some storms will drift in farther from the north and move into the hill country, probably like pre-dawn Monday morning. That's like 2, 3, 4 a.m. This may enter the Kerr County area. There may be pockets of moderate to heavy rain pre-dawn Monday morning. So if you're getting out early Monday back to work, got anything you got going on a road trip Monday morning, just know there will be a couple of light showers in the area. But after that, any thunderstorm activity Monday evening. There is a small chance of an isolated downpour Monday afternoon, But as you can see on this particular forecast map, most of the action will be east, like Hallettsville, Columbus, Bay City, towards Houston area. So rain chances remain in our forecast through tomorrow, Monday, mostly isolated, and if any heavy rain develops, it should be south or east of San Antonio. Here's tomorrow's timeline: 96 at 1 and 100 degrees by about 3 and 4 o'clock. It's going to be a toaster. Just be careful out there. Drink plenty of water. Find shade when you can. Take breaks. Check up on your friends and family. It's going to be a hot day, and there will be some spotty activity, mainly south and east of San Antonio. But if we see any rain tomorrow in our local area, it'll be after sunset and primarily into like the early hours of Monday morning. Very heavy rain in New Braunfels. Yeah, absolutely. It was great. So from New Braunfels to like Seguin to St. Edwig, eastern San Antonio, it was pretty heavy. There's some pockets of pretty heavy rain, especially in the hill country. Kerr County, some parts of Kerr County today picked up 2 to 3 inches of rain, which led to some localized flooding. Now here's the setup. We have a northeast wind, and what that's doing is kind of transporting some energy from the north, from like far west Texas. That's the setup. The huge heat high, which is obviously known to bring triple-digit heat in July and August, is positioned out near El Paso, New Mexico, and out in West Texas. Now, where it's at right now, that'll bring in kind of a wave of rain late tomorrow night. We talked about this for the last 5 to 10 minutes. Storms that'll develop out in West Texas will move towards Dallas, the I-35 corridor, and they'll move towards San Antonio in the hill country, but not until like midnight to 1 a.m. tomorrow night. So basically Monday morning early will be our next opportunity at seeing some more organized rain. But again, this is mainly while everyone's asleep, 2, 3, 4 a.m. Monday morning. That might impact the Monday morning commute with some, slick roadways, some road visibility, things like that. But it looks like a lot of this action weekends on approach to San Antonio. So here's the 14-day, guys. Any rain for tomorrow? A 20% chance, mostly sunny for tomorrow. A hot day, a high temperature of 100. If we see any rain, it's isolated tomorrow afternoon. And if we see any organized rain, it's late tomorrow night into early Monday morning. But I think most of us will stay dry to wrap up the first weekend of August. A little hotter on Monday, 101, and a little cooler throughout the week. Not too much cooler. It's just not as hot, I guess you could say. 97 to 98 on forecast highs across the area for San Antonio. 99 Thursday to 100 on Friday. Rain chances return, not just for tomorrow and Monday. They're slight, but they're there. But they also return for the next week, not the 4th or 5th, but the 11th and 12th, based on the long-range forecast guidance and things like that. So our forecast remains pretty busy, and we're going to keep a close eye on it. Right now, a lot of the rain is coming to an end. There are a couple of isolated showers out there, and the heaviest of rain, the thunder and lightning, is way to the south near George West, Beeville, McMullen County, Live Oak County, B County. So we're going to watch that very closely tonight. But again, a lot of those are drifting farther south towards like the Corpus Christi area and towards the Texas coast. And rain chances stay with us tomorrow and Monday. It's mostly isolated, but I think today was our best chance at seeing the most scattered, the most numerous coverage of rain. Trending down on the coverage by tomorrow and Monday. Temperatures stay pretty seasonal and hot, 100 to about 98 Tuesday and Wednesday. And then comparable numbers as we go into the second week of August, I should say. And school begins, I believe, August 11th. And a lot of our kids, San Antonio zone, are probably going to be heading into the classroom right around 96 degrees. It's going to be hot, no big surprise there. The first 2 weeks of August are pretty hot. So plan for that. And right now, just expecting a couple of isolated showers tomorrow and Monday.